Hey, what's up, humans? My name is Alan. Welcome to Money Garden, and today we're going to talk about the steps to becoming a millionaire. Now, I know we've seen it on the news. We have people becoming billionaires by putting $8,000 into this weird dog coin called Shiba Inu. People are putting in money into GameStop, AMC, and seeing huge returns. And you're saying, why can't that be me? Well, the reality of the situation is that just can't be you, because the amount of people out there that are willing to take this level of risk just aren't there. And a lot of those that do take that risk fail, they crash, and they burn. But they don't talk about that because it's not as sexy and it doesn't sound that nice. Now, does it? But I do want to mention that I am no millionaire myself. See, a few months ago, I was heavily into debt. I still have a little bit to go, but it will get paid off very soon. And I want to give full credit to a gentleman by the name of Dave Ramsey. If you don't know who he is, he's an entrepreneur and a millionaire himself. So this is what he states. This is what he says, and these are the steps to follow. I'm just going to reciprocate and add my opinion as to how they've helped me, because without him, without these steps, I wouldn't have gotten out of debt so quickly, invested in myself, and created a savings to actively grow my future. Now, I do want to mention this. I am no financial advisor. I recommend you go and get opinion elsewhere. Travel around, look up, search, and see what best fits your world and your point of view. Now, let's begin. Alrighty, so part of the 8 steps is to cut unnecessary spending. See, a lot of us like to live with keeping up with the Joneses. If you don't know what that means, that basically means that you're trying to always keep up with your neighbor, your friend, your homie, your family, whatever it may be. A little bit of an example here is when I grew up, I didn't have much. My family, we grew up in an apartment for most of my life, but everyone in my family seemed to have a house. Everyone in my family seemed to have a nice car, a Mercedes, a BMW, and they were just driving around looking hella rich. And what did I see? I saw that I wanted to be them. I saw them get the new Xbox, the new this, the new that, and wanting to be just like them. But people don't realize that every purchase you make slows you from the purchase that you can make later on. For example, if you put away money at the age of 20 so you can purchase a house at 25, it'd be doable. But let's say you're 25, all of a sudden you don't have a dime saved for that house. You have to start from scratch, take out a loan, take this here, stop doing a lot of this there, and that's truly the problem. They always say that the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. Now, obviously, you can't go back. So they say the second best time to plant a tree was yesterday, which sadly, again, you can't do that. So the real best time to plant a tree is today. And what I mean by that is don't wait until today. But if today is the day you have this realization, start. Hold yourself accountable and do not impress others with something that you don't have. Impress yourself with what you have now and look towards the future as to what you can safely save up for to continue your successful future. Now, number 2 on this list is to invest early and consistently. We talked a little bit about this in the first step, but I'm going to add this and be very specific. You can invest either through Robinhood or through a crypto app, or you can purchase something that can grow in value later, whether it be a stock, an ETF, or whatever it may be. Just make sure that you're putting money towards something that you believe in. I personally believe a lot in cryptos. So what have I done? Every single week I purchase Bitcoin, Ethereum, and whatever third or fourth coin I feel like. Right now it's Polkadot and Polymatic, which is called Matic. These are my 4. Now, of course, I've always been putting money into Tesla. I really do believe in that company. And I have been putting money towards other companies as well. I'm not trying to influence what you purchase. I'm just trying to show you that I do have areas in which I continuously invest in and put my money towards. And if you want to make it easier, a lot of these apps actually allow you to create recurring payments that just happen seamlessly, purchasing whatever you want every single week or every month without you having to do a thing. Just make sure you have enough money in the account. That's all it is. Just know this, whenever you invest any money, that means that you have to have faith in what's going on in the company, and that also means that you have to understand what's going on in the company. Just make sure you have those things down and you should be solid in your investing journey. Number 3, and I had to learn this the hard way, a lot of you might be in the same boat as me, and that's to stay away from debt. Now, a lot of us were told there's good debt and there's bad debt. I thought the same thing, and I want to believe it's true. I have no moderation. I can't handle the fact that a company is giving me $30,000 for free. I just can't. Some people can. If you're in that boat, congratulations. I hope you get through that. But if you're like me and you can't, I want you to listen up and tell you, always have enough money to pay that debt off. Even if it's just 75% of that debt, at least have some. A lot of us only hold the bare minimum. If we're told something costs 10K, we'll have 10%, sure. But what about those 90%? Now, not including interest, all of a sudden that 10K purchase becomes 12, 13K. Your $1,000 down means absolutely nothing because now you actually owe $2,000 more than you thought you would. And that's exactly why a lot of us can't handle it. We want to keep up with the Joneses, like I mentioned before. But if you are strong and you can handle the debt, like a lot of rich people can, my goal is to be that one day, do it. But if you can't, understand, you're gonna have to moderate yourself. You're gonna have to stop and really look towards saving your money properly and not just having IOUs from the banks. For number 4, make savings a priority. I say this because I've just recently started to do this as well. Too long that I live paycheck to paycheck, as I know many of you do. A lot of us think 1,000 in, 1,000 out. But the way you have to look at it today and for the rest of your life, to be honest, is if you get 1,000 in, immediately you lost 20%. Why? Because that 1,000 should be broken up into pieces. You should say, my rent is this, my gas is this, my food is this, my water is that. And then you go, my savings is this. If you grab 20%, that's $200 a week. That's $800 a month. That's close to $9,000 a year put away just because you acted as if 20% never existed. You got a pay cut. You went from 1,800, but that money's still there. And you don't have to put it all the way into savings. You can cut that into pieces too. 10% in investments, 10% into savings for your rainy day funds. A lot of us are honestly one hospital visit away from complete financial ruin. A lot of us don't have health care. A lot of us think we're healthy and fine until something happens. Our job might all of a sudden go away, as we saw with COVID. A lot of people did have to shift their life entirely just because they had no savings whatsoever. Now, to avoid this, it's very simple. Just make sure you have, like I mentioned before, recurring payments towards saving accounts. Make sure you automatically realize that 20% does not exist. Have even more buffers in other areas that are fun. Like I've mentioned, cryptos are a great place. Stocks are a great place. Your literal savings account is a good place to house 3 to 6 months of money that you can actively use when you need it, as you need it. And that is why it's so important to start saving. So for number 5, it's kind of a no-brainer, but the issue is a lot of us get very comfortable. And this one would be increase your income. And I know what you're saying, Alan, no duh. Of course, the only problem is a lot of us get comfortable. A lot of us stay in the same job thinking that we're going to go up that ladder slowly but surely. That 50 cents every 6 months or yearly will add up to something great. The problem is it probably won't. And if you have a coworker that works alongside you and they leave for another job, you're making 20 an hour, they're making 20 an hour. In 5 years, you'll be making what? 2250. They, in that very same moment, as they leave, they're gonna get a new job paying them $22.50, $25 immediately, while you're still here climbing that ladder. This guy just said, I'm gonna take the elevator to the next job. That is an option. Now, I'm not saying you have to quit your job. You can also add gig work. A lot of us do something like a DoorDash, like an Uber Eats, like Instacart, right? That's an option as well. Especially nowadays, you can just turn on your phone and bam, you're working, making an extra 100, an extra 50 a day, 4 times a week. Boom, you add that up. That's a couple thousand a year added to whatever you're making already, and you can just allocate those funds towards your savings. And of course, not only that, you can also start your own business. So there's many avenues you can take here. You can either leave the current job, add something else to the current job, or start your own thing. And in these days, that's very much a possibility. Look what I'm doing right now. No, I'm not getting paid, but the goal is for the future that I will be. I expect nothing, but I understand that the possibilities are great, that this can become something. Ultimately, I also want to seek a financial success in my future. And that starts by increasing your income alongside your savings and investments. Now, for number 6, it's honestly one of my favorites because it's the simplest to do, and that's to keep that millionaire mindset in front of you. Make sure you're always thinking about it. Put it on your phone. Anything that says anything that makes you want to continue. If it's your family, put it on there and say, I'm doing this for them. The problem is a lot of us get very motivated and say we're going to do this, and then we don't. Or we start and then we stop. The thing is, a lot of us want quick returns. We've been so used to this idea of being able to get something back quickly. I think that the internet has done this to us. We look at our phone and ultimately we see gratification, satisfaction. Something that we enjoy is just a click or a swipe away. And in this day and age, that's really what I've noticed from a lot of people. They say it is impossible, but you ask them how long they were in it, and they say a couple of weeks. And they say that was enough. There are more than enough entrepreneurs out there that'll say they've been at it for a couple of months, and most of them at it for a couple of years. You have to understand that to make something happen, you have to go out there and pursue it. If you don't, then who else is gonna do it for you? Most of these people out here are too worried about themselves, and most of these people have absolutely no idea how to get there. I set a goal for this channel that I would at least make 4 to 5 videos a week, and that is my goal. That's what I tell you. Create goals to be able to reach that success. See, a lot of us say, I weigh 300 pounds, right? And I want to lose 120 of that to weigh 180. So they look at the final chart and they say, 120 pounds I have to lose. I'll start tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes, nothing happens. Another day, nothing happens. Whereas if you say, I want to lose 2 pounds by this week, then you can kind of cut it down. And then next thing you know, 6 to 8 months later, you've reached your goal, or you're that much closer to why. So why stop? And that's ultimately what you want to see. Slow and gradual change towards what you want, because that's how you'll value what you have most in the future. So I think it's very important for you to put it out there in the universe. Put something on your wall, on your mirror, on your phone, on your computer, and remind yourself why you're doing what you're doing and why you're going to stick to it for the long term. For number 7, we have invest in a financial professional. Now, I'm not telling you to go out and get yourself a broker or a financial advisor. I even think that YouTube is just fine. But I want you to understand that, yes, it is as simple as putting some money away here and there, but maybe you just don't care enough. And that's okay. It can get very boring out here. And if you're not really into it, you might wait till it's too late, and you might actually have needed that person to help you. There's a lot of people out there that can go to the gym and work out by themselves and create a fitness plan. But there's most people out there like myself that need someone pushing them, a friend, someone on YouTube showing me the ropes, or an actual trainer. And that's okay. Everyone has a path they can go. In finance, the reason I say you should look for help is because you don't understand just how crazy and how many hacks you can find out there. For example, a lot of us don't know that the banks are paying you pennies on the dollar for what you put in there. A simple find can tell you that if you invest in a crypto, for example, you can gain high interest yearly. And these are little hacks and steps that you can take towards growing yourself, and maybe a financial advisor or a professional can help you get there. Doesn't have to be paid. Just make sure you take it in, you consistently look for it, and you accept it, but make sure you continue doing that research as you go. Step 8. And for this one, it's really just about making sure you keep your plan on repeat. It's very simple. For the last 7 steps, I told you to do a thing and to stick to it. But a lot of us say, well, I'll do 4 of those 8. Don't. Seriously, write them down and make sure you knock them out on a weekly basis. It really matters that you stick to this. I'm not giving you tips or steps to becoming a millionaire in a week. I'm sorry, but for the average person, that's just not going to happen. And I don't want to lead people down a rabbit hole of investing money towards something that they most likely won't. And these are steps proven to get you there. Now, there's a lot of things to talk about, a lot of little details that you can add, but as long as you stick to this same narrative, whether it be in the crypto world or in the stock world or just savings world, just make sure that you do it consistently. Make sure you do these repeat on a monthly or weekly basis. Come back to this, create a spreadsheet, put something there that will allow you to continuously make it happen. If you can automate these things, make sure you do. The thing that you want to do is not think about it, just make it part of your life. I struggle with this in fitness most. At first it was finance, but fitness is where it's getting, where I'm trying to fix next. As finance is getting a little bit cleaner and a little bit nicer, it's really just about making every day like if it was the last. And if you can do that, you'll do very well in life, I guarantee you. And with that being said, I want to end with this. A lot of people out there think that they can't do it. See the final number that they owe, either 50,000, 100,000, whatever, through student debt, and they think, I'll never get out of this. They think to themselves, I want to go out tonight. And then they realize they spent $100 that they don't have at a bar that they didn't want to be at. A lot of us have things like Netflix and Hulu and HBO Max and Amazon this, and then they order food out and they boom, boom, boom. Next you know, you're dropping another $100 a month on things that you don't need, again on subscriptions that you don't even use. The reality is, make sure you live by your means, make sure you save, make sure you invest, and ultimately make sure you leave a little for yourself. If you don't, you're not going to live a happy life. I'm not telling you to become a hermit. Some of you might have to be for a year or 2, but lower your means. Instead of buying a bunch of drinks at the bar, buy yourself a bottle beforehand and put it in a freaking water bottle and drink it on the way. Whatever you have to do to save that money, do it, as long as it's legal, of course. Alrighty, humans, that pretty much puts everything together. Tell me what you guys think. Huge shout out to Dave Ramsey. Link down below to where I found this information. Tell me what you guys think, but I do have a question for all of you. What are the steps you guys have been taking to become a millionaire, or are you guys still in debt? Please let me know. I'd love to comment back. I'll try to get to everyone as much as I can, but other than that, give it a like, give us a follow, subscribe, check us out on Instagram, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you.